Good morning, afternoon, or evening, as the case may be. We are here on day 3 of the Midwest Brouhaha 2015, the 6th annual, if I do believe. My name is Arbor Norb. I am here with OC Diva, if I am not incorrect. And by golly, we are about to see one fall to a finish. The Ann Arbor Derby Dimes from the home of Iggy and the Stooges taking on the Northeastern Ohio, a.k.a. Neo Roller Derby Rock and Roller Girls from the home of LeBron James and Devo.
Really? I did not know that.
Akron, Ohio.
Well, I knew that Devo was from there. I did grow up in Ohio myself, so it's kind of nice to see
Devo.
that. Indeed. But I like OC Diva, and I am OC Diva of the DuPage Derby Dames. And here today we have one heck of a battle right ahead of us as the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes, the Brawlstars, taking on that Northeastern Ohio, better known as Neo, Roller Derby. So, taking the track today for the Northeastern Ohio Roller Derby girls, it is Masher Chief, Olive Payne, Kitty Black, Secret Destruction, Twin Pistol, who is your captain, Nancy Skerrigan, Fireball Phoenix, Valkyrie, Shockwave, Wes Craven Brains, Morbid Cherub, Finisher, Rosa Mariposa, and Bad Mooney Rising.
And taking Derby Skates Track 1 for the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes, heretofore referred to as A2B2, rather A2D2. We got number 10, Bex. Number 11, that's Leslie Arnaz. 187 is Slamlet. 22 is Track Magic. Number 24 is Jadzia Smax. Number 3, yes sir, 3 bags full. It is Little Bo Peep. Number 4 is Michelle Obama. 404 is Samuel L. Jackson. 62, Fracture Mechanic. 63, Jackie O'Bashes. 69 is Lucille Baller. Number 811 is Terror Misu. 84 is Dr. Mainzu. 886 is Strawberries and Scream. Number 96 is Susan B. Slam the Knee. And number 999 is Scorpion. A fusion of tongue twisters on the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes roster.
Absolutely, and action is about to get underway on our Derby Laces Track 1 here as the 5 seconds is called.
Looks like we're going to have Master Chief on that jammer line, on the notorious RED jammer line for Northeastern Ohio, and we are going to have Leslie Arnaz for the Brawlstars. And even before I can say it, it is number 1111 in the black. That is Leslie Arnaz, lead jammer, Ann Arbor Derby Dimes.
That's right, and Master Chief is still having a tough time getting through that pack for her initial pass.
A lot of agitation, like popcorn in a popcorn popper between turns 1 and 2, and that is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Leslie Arnaz, with her opponent on Neo unable to break the pack.
So the Brawlstars draw first blood on this third day of Brouhaha against the Northeastern Ohio Derby.
And we got a star pass to Twin Pistol, number 357 in the green of Neo. That is going to call an end to the scoring, but it is going to be 6 unanswered for Ann Arbor to start the game.
That's right, and it looks like we have a fairly physical and a lot of pushing around on both sides of the defense for both NEO and for Ann Arbor. So lining up now behind that notorious RED jam line, we have Secret Destruction for Neo facing off against number 10, Bex for the Brawlstars.
Not all familiar with the Ann Arbor. I saw them play a little bit yesterday. That is all I have seen of this team. I'm very intrigued. They've been beating a lot of people all year long.
I got to see them play a couple weeks ago against the Chicago Outfit. They lost that battle.
And that was then. This is now. Lead jammer looked to be Bex, but is not. She is heading to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box for a track cut. So lead jammer, she is not. All right, now we have nobody with a visible star. For Neo, we have got number 216 with the star in her hand, Secret Destruction. She started as the jammer. She is not an active jammer, as she has no star upon stars upon bars, star upon her head.
And she is trying to battle through that line of tough blockers anchored by Michelle Obama for Ann Arbor.
The first lady of roller derby.
That's right.
We still don't have a jammer with a star on their head for Neo, and we have got a jammer back on the track in the form of Bex.
And it was indeed a star pass to the pivot, number 41, Scary, for Neo.
I'm not sure how long that Neo jammer held that star covering before handing it off, but it was a significant amount of time. Got more whistles, more players heading to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Bex now out and about on her scoring pass for the black-clad Ann Arbor Derby Dimes.
And it looks like a multiplayer block was assessed on Secret Destruction, who was the jammer but is now a blocker, as the pivot had taken that star pass. A whole lot of star passes going on this weekend at Brouhaha.
Tell ya. could change it hands more quickly than bootleg Ultraman DVDs.
And not just the star passes, but also those star stashes where jammers are taking off that panty, holding it onto their head and trying to make their way through, sneaky-like.
Let's go. It sounds like mustache. And somehow we've got Beck. She picked up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam as her opposite number was trying to hack her way through the pack. Looks like Ann Arbor are going to salvage this situation. And it looks like was that a forearm or an elbow block? Nope. You're touching your forearm.
Yep.
All right, I'm confused about anatomy sometimes. It is going to be a Sakatumi Power Jam for Ann Arbor for this third jam as the jammer for Neo. Whoever the heck wound up with a star, they're sitting in the penalty box right now.
So listening in at home, you might hear a lot of other whistles, and that's because we have two tracks here at the UW Panther Arena separated only by a curtain. So it's been a battle for all the skaters, all the officials, and everybody all weekend long.
That's right. It's Derby Laces Track 1 and Derby Laces Track 2. Yesterday I said Derby Laces Track 2 partied the hardest. I correct my error. It's actually Derby Laces Track 1. And we have a track cut, I believe, on, that's a forearm as well. That is on Slamuel L. Jackson, the jammer of record for Ann Arbor. There will be a law of equivalent exchange. The Neo jammer will be sprung from the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. It shall be a Sakatumi Power Jam for Scary and Neo.
And this jam will go the entire full 2 minutes as we do not have a lead jammer and nobody has the power to call it off.
It's terrible to be unempowered, but it's 16-6 right now in favor of Ann Arbor.
A tight scrum on the back straightaway.
Sakatumi Power Jam is now over. Both jammers back on the track and trying to unclog the clog, which is defying all manner of Drano-like techniques at turn 3. Goodness.
And a scrum of defense going into turn 3. So slow, so tight. That Neo line at the top really pushing hard against Slamuel L. Jackson. Not giving an inch.
They're fighting like sharks and jets. Everybody just trying to bash their way through their defenders on their own. Now just 2 defenders to beat for Neo as the other 2 NEO.
Stretching it out to the edge of that engagement zone as best they can. 357 twin pistol for Neo, doing a great job of bridging her defense out and giving them a chance.
90 seconds gone. No points scored yet. Looks like the first scoring pass appears to be Ann Arbor's. Flirting with one of those Rydell Skates Grand Slams I've been hearing all the kids talking about. But
they're all the rage.
Ain't nothing coming easy right now for either team.
And once again, it looks like Rosa Mariposa doing her best to stretch out that defense for Neo.
Beck still got one. She's already passed one of these skaters. I think she's already got one of the points, and that jam's going to go on time and probably none too soon.
Wow.
And eventually, that was actually a Rydell Skates Grand Slam, possibly the hardest fought 5 points I have actually seen
all weekend.
That was like, I'm trying to divide 120 seconds out into fifths, and the math is kind of, well, maybe it's 20. That's a point every 24 seconds.
If that is any indication of how the rest of this game is going to go, we are really in for a treat here, folks.
We're in for something. 21-6 right now in favor of Ann Arbor.
Lining up behind that notorious RED jammer line, it's Bad Mooney Rising for Neo, facing off against Terror Misu for the Brawlstars.
Terror Misu, fluent in both American and Japanese, or so the cheat sheet handed to us right before the bout says, which will be handy in translating those bootleg Ultraman DVDs.
Oh man, look at that backwards blocking from Michelle Obama. It is absolutely bracing her wall so hard, and then, it looks like after taking one monster hit and shaking it off, Terror Misu breaks through that pack to become the lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
Yeah, shockwave of Neo is heading to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. But if you heard a noise that sounded like an announcer brushing up against their microphone, it was actually her body falling on the concrete. Going to be a Rydell Skates Grand Slam picked up there for Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor's going to bulge through lead out to 26-6, 20-point lead now for Ann Arbor. Please stay and get lucky at Milwaukee's #1 entertainment destination. Table games, dining, shows, hotel, it's all here only at Potawatomi. Play all day and stay all night at Milwaukee's #1 entertainment destination and luxury hotel. Book a room at gaming, entertainment, and dining. Play, stay, and get lucky at Potawatomi.
Neo's going to start this next jam down one blocker as Shockwave is spending 30 seconds in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box for a clockwise block.
Shockwave sent the Shockwave all the way to the announcer's table, and that looks like Leslie Arnaz going to be the lead jammer, and that is courtesy of Ann Arbor.
And it looks like there was another panty stash, as we're calling it now. As now Jammer for Neo, number 117, Masher Chief. Excuse me, that's a really hard one to say.
They're
Chief.
They're testing us.
They really are, putting us through our paces on this third day of Brouhaha.
Well, a Space Marine like Masher Chief can do anything. Going to be 4 more points for Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor now quintupling Neo with a 30-6 lead.
Lining up
21 3/4 to go.
Yep, and lining up behind that notorious RED Jammer line. It looks like we might have, I think that is Secret Destruction, perhaps? Yes, that's Secret Destruction for the Neo Roller Derby. And she's battling hard.
And for Ann Arbor, that is number 10. That is Bex in the black. She is geographically in front of, she's geographically in front of everybody wearing green. She is lead jammer, in fact. Going to have to forgive us a little bit of hesitation. Track 1, we don't have a very good view of we have an excellent view of the Derby Laces Track 2 scoreboard, I'll say that. Another star pass.
And another star pass, scary. The pivot for Neo. Puts it on, and as soon as she does, the jam is called off.
3 more for Ann Arbor. 33-6 is now our score.
Lining up behind that notorious RED Jammer line. I believe we have Slamuel L. Jackson, and she's going to be facing off against the captain for Neo, and that's 357 Twin Pistol. But a timeout has been called.
Well, gosh, I am thankful for this timeout, for that gives me the opportunity to tell you Classic Slice Pizza is your friendly neighborhood Roller Girl-owned pizzeria, serving up huge slices, salads, desserts, and apps made from scratch, specializing in vegetarian and vegan items and the best gluten-free crust in the city. Classic Slice Pizza has been a proud Brew City Bruisers sponsor from the very beginning. Stop in this weekend and grab a slice and a $2 tall boy. Classic Slice is in Bayview and open until midnight. That's Classic Slice Pizza.
We would also like to thank ATI Physical Therapy. When injury strikes, you have a choice. Choose ATI Physical Therapy, the official sports medicine provider for your Brew City Bruisers. To experience the ATI difference, visit ATIPT.com or stop into one of their over 19 Milwaukee area clinics for a complimentary injury screening. Ask your doctor about the company that is taking physical therapy to a higher level. ATI Physical Therapy.
Injury strikes, labor dispute.
Indeed. And action getting back underway.
Occurring just a couple feet from the notorious RED penalty. Jammer line. It has not yet broached the pivot line. Now we have a few people almost getting a foot over that misaligned piece of duct tape. And lead jammer is going to go to 4:04. That is Slamuel L. Jackson for Ann Arbor.
Slamuel L. Jackson.
Once again, nobody with a jammer star visible for Neo.
Yet another star stash going on. You might be hearing the cheers on the other side of the arena here.
They're cheering for us because we are excellent. And that is going to be a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Speaking of excellence, courtesy of Slamuel L. Jackson and the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes.
Extending their lead.
I know not whence Ann Arbor came. I guess they came from Ann Arbor, but they kind of came out of nowhere. I know they've been and that is another Rydell Skates Grand Slam for, Slamuel L. Jackson. I know they have been a Women's Flat Track Derby Association member since Festivus 2013, but that's pretty much all I know, except they're pretty doggone good.
They have been really dominating now. Considering the beginning of the game, we weren't sure how this was going to turn out, but Ann Arbor really putting Neo through their paces. And a huge shoulder coming from Fracture. That's number 62 for the Brawlstars.
Slamuel L. Jackson flirting with her 4th Grand Slam. 20 unanswered points. 4th Rydell Skates Grand Slam. I beg your pardon. He's still got 20 seconds. She might go for a 5th. That's a Grand Slam. That's a Rydell Grand Slam squared.
Math is hard.
It's going to be a struggle to get through that Neo defense. They are entrenched. Right at turn 2 rather. But she tackles them over and takes control. That is a 25-point unanswered jam. 5 Rydell Skates Grand Slams for Slamuel L. Jackson.
Incredible. Bad Mooney Rising had been released from that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, but unable to put anything up on the board for Neo. So Neo still sitting at 6 points. Kind of harsh for them against the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes. And it looks like we have
We have ample opportunity to say Dr. Eric Peifel of the Orthopedic Institute of Wisconsin and MOSH wishes you a safe brouhaha weekend. We are here for all your injuries on and off the track. Contact us at theorthoinstitute.com.
We would also like to thank Hinckley Productions. They have been a friend to Derby since 2008, providing live video production services and bringing you this live broadcast of Brouhaha. Support free streaming Derby with your DVD purchase at hinkleyproductions.com/brouhaha.
18 and a half minutes to go in the first period. We've got the Stooges with 58. We've got Devo with 6.
And that...
I guess the math works out on that one.
Absolutely. And we have Neo's first timeout gone from this period. Samuel L. Jackson already scoring 30 points for the Brawlstars so far.
25 of them were in that last jam alone.
Pretty impressive stuff here.
All right, the struggles continue. We have got Neo at the front of the pack being pushed by the Ann Arbor Jammer. We have got Ann Arbor controlling the rear of the pack, being escorted forward by the Neo Jammer, who's number 713, Valkyrie.
But it looks like Terror Misu, the jammer for Ann Arbor, is the one who's going to be able to push through first to become the lead jammer. And a penalty has been assessed.
Someone's going to that is number 96 for Neo, heading to the Potawatomi Bingo and Casino penalty box. That is
a destruction of pack penalty.
And that has finished her, and she didn't seem to have the star in her hand, but I don't know who in Neo does, but somebody, oh my goodness, did you see that? That was number 41 shoving Shockwave of Nancy Scarrigan, using her teammate as a missile.
Oh my.
The stars reappeared on Neo's jammer. It is number 713 Valkyrie, who is the original star possessor, but it is in time to stop the scoring at 5 more points, but it is not enough to get any points more on the board for Neo.
No, Neo still sitting with 6 points on the board, but Ann Arbor has climbed up to 63. And behind that notorious RED jammer line, this time we have Leslie Arnaz, and she is facing off against Fireball Phoenix.
513, my friend's old host number. Once again, we're seeing Neo all gobbed up towards the front of the pack. Oh, breaking free is Leslie Arnaz. However, she's getting teed off on by number E13. Rosa Mariposa gives her the slip. She is lead jammer, and by she, I mean Leslie Arnaz, Ann Arbor.
She was dancing around on that outside line on her toe stops, but not even touched by the Neo defense up at the top of the pack, and picks up a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
That's the best kind. Looks like she's back in the ring to take another swing. She's going to step right around Fireball Phoenix to the inside. Leslie Arnaz now forced to the outside. Neo defense is reforming itself at turn 2. She's going to have to go back into the shopping cart drill of trying to push her way through 3 green-clad people looking not unlike the Riddler with the purple accoutrements. She does so indeed. There are 5 fingers visible. That is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor starting to pull away.
Some skaters going down in that straightaway, and it looks like a penalty has been assessed on Lethal Bo Peep. A low block.
And that looks like another Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Leslie Arnaz. He's got to kind of circle the wagons here. Add a layer of impermeability to their already steadfast defense. Defense is holding steady, but they're just getting spun around by those Ann Arbor jammers somehow. And she finds holes where holes did not exist previously.
She is finding those seams, tossing a shoulder into it, and just opening her way through those walls. And it's been very effective against Neo. Now the pack's speeding up, trying to prevent any more points being scored, and it looks like they're off to the races.
All right, they used to call that a pull-away back in the day. There had been another Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
It looks like they're trying their 27 and 5. It looks like they're trying their qualifying passes. One of the...
Well, maybe that's the case. Maybe they've been warned that their minimum skills are not up to par.
Yep.
I can't believe that for a second. 1 more point scored and all that. So that was an interesting thing. People skating fast and turning left. I like that. That was all right.
It is a valid defensive move. If you have both jammers in the back and you don't want any more points scored against you, you know what? Speed up. They have to catch up to you. They have to pass you. And if they can't do it, then hey, why not?
That move has existed, probably since the history of roller derby back in the 14th century.
So lining up behind that notorious RED jammer line for Neo is the captain, Twin Pistol, and wearing the stars for the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes is Bex.
Bex, I hear you calling.
But it looks like there might have been a... No, I'm sorry. I had misspoken. Bad Mooney Rising.
All
right, the stars.
Yeah, Neo did a good job of recycling Bex there. And once again, we see Neo using their teammates as some manner of... What's that called? A trebuchet? Trebuchet? Well, whatever. Some sort of projectile. Lead jammer goes to Neo this time. Courtesy of their captain. That is Bad Mooney Rising.
That was a much-needed lead jam for Neo.
And more than that, they got a single point out of that, but by golly, I think at this point in time they'll take it just to stop the periods full of, jams full of unadulterated scoring for Ann Arbor. 84-7 is going to be our score. That's going to be, well, Ann Arbor has now scored exactly 12 times as much as Neo.
Bench coach for Neo going up to the officials pleading his case, trying to see if he can get another point awarded to his jammer. To no avail. So score stands 7 for Neo, 84 for Ann Arbor.
And back to a perchance attempt to score maybe another 25 unanswered points. That is number 404 for Ann Arbor in the black. That is Samuel L. Jackson, jammer of record and lead jammer.
And baller number 69 for Ann Arbor is being sent to the penalty box for a destruction of pack penalty.
Masher Chief was the jammer for Neo. That is number 117. No stars visible once again for any Neo skater. Helmet covering does appear to be in the hand of Masher Chief as I say this, but I'm easily bite for misdirection. So don't take my word for this.
And if that star is in her hand, then that is bad news for Neo, as she is being sent to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
That's going to lead to a Sakatumi power jam for Ann Arbor. It's also going to be a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Stop me if you heard this before for Samuel L. Jackson of Ann Arbor.
It looks like she's trying to get herself a endorsement deal.
Maybe she can trade in her points for, discounted airfare somewhere. I don't know.
Well, she might be able to take that over to Turnaround Skates, who is the official skate tech for Brouhaha.
Shoulder blocks, alternating shoulders, a right shoulder to left shoulder to right shoulder. That defensive maneuver is enough to stop. No, everybody wearing green is slamming their shoulders into Samuel L. Jackson's shoulders. She's not going to have any shoulders left by the time she gets around turn 2.
Oh my gosh. Twin pistol first starting that off for Neo, and then Morbid Cherub coming up to give her a hand or a hip, as the case may be, really zeroing in on Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson is going to get free. It looks like that is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Got an elbow penalty, do we not?
Forearm, I believe.
You never figure out what part of the body.
Forearm, elbow against Masher Chief.
Too hard.
So Neo starting this next jam. They appear to have 4 blockers on the track.
I believe they got Masher Chief still sitting in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. I believe it is still a Sakatumi power jam for Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor with a rather comfy lead at this reasonably early juncture.
That's true. We still have over 10 minutes to go in this first half as Leslie Arnez battling past one more Neo blocker to get that lead jammer status for Ann Arbor.
And we have all defenders are becalmed somewhere between the notorious RED jammer line and the unsponsored pivot line. Now we have got Ann Arbor setting up a 1 blocker to open up that Neo defense. That is number 22, Track Magic. But now they're going to let Leslie Arnez elude the defense herself. She does so. That is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. 5 more points for Ann Arbor. They are 1 point away from breaking the century mark.
Neo defense trying to help out with a little offense to help their jammer out, but they have to switch their attention back to Samuel L. Jackson.
Masher Chief emerges from the pack, puts that star back on her head, becomes an active jammer. Another Rydell Skates Grand Slam, however, for Leslie Arnez. Leslie Arnez looked like she's going to put some distance between her and Masher Chief. I don't think Masher Chief can keep up with Leslie Arnez on the straightaway. Pack speeding up now. They have stopped the clog drain approach. Leslie Arnez skates to the outside. She realizes that is not perhaps the most fortuitous path. Gets 1 more point, calls it off, keeps Neo off the board. 105 for Ann Arbor, 7 for Neo.
And that That strategy of speeding up the pack seems to be the last resort for Neo, but it seems like they're opting for that a few times now. I think we might see more of it. We'll see what happens.
Well, win, lose, or draw, Neo are beating on Ann Arbor so much that I think about 90 seconds into the jam, they just get sick of clobbering them and decide they want to take off and, perhaps save some bruising for a while.
That's true, but hey, Derby girls, we're used to getting bruises all over the place. Jamming now for the Brawlstars, we have Tiramisu, number 811, and she's facing off against Secret Destruction.
And right now, it is, as we've seen for quite some time, it is Neo patrolling the front of the pack, trying to clog up the Ann Arbor jammer. We've got Ann Arbor in the rear of the pack, and they have got a four-way quadrilateral of defenders, and Secret Destruction is not having any luck whatsoever trying to just barrel her way through it. Lead jammer is going to go to
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu. I knew it wasn't Tiramisu. Tiramisu of Ann Arbor. Tiramisu now in the pack, scoring points, but not if. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, skaters going down, but on the other side of the track, we had a star pass to the pivot, Nancy Skerrigan, but she puts on the stars, and the jam is called off after another Rydell Skates 5-point grand slam goes up on the board for Ann Arbor.
And that was Wes Craven Brains of Neo clobbering everyone wearing black at turn 2. Decked the jammer, decked the defender.
Really mixing things up in there and giving Neo such a hard time. And they're going to even have a harder time as they only have 2 blockers on the track. That's 9-16.
Morbid Cherub.
Yep, and she's trying to fight up against our jammer, Bex, for the Brawlstars.
Morbid Cherub sounds like a death metal band.
It does.
And we have got Bad Mooney Rising, the jammer of record for Neo. Almost looked like she had it, but step into the inside. Bex, lead jammer, Ann Arbor.
But right behind her, we have the jammer for Neo, Bad Mooney Rising, doing her best to catch up. And yet again, that pack speeding up, trying their best to avoid any points being scored.
I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I don't think Neo can play the speed game with Ann Arbor. I think Ann Arbor's got faster jammers.
I think they do too, but if you have one fast blocker at the front, especially since that's the one that the jammer has to pass, the jammer has to pass that one Neo blocker, and now she can call off the jam and picks up all 2 points. Let's see. There was only one not on the track point.
Well, maybe we're going to have an official timeout.
Yes, I think we will, because there's probably going to be a little bit of reevaluation of the scoring there.
All right, you were speaking of bruises before, and that gives me, it looks like I see 4 points being signaled in. Bruise Skate News, the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. We have over 50 colors and patterns to fit your team, your league, or your personality. If that isn't enough, contact us for more customization options. You spend a lot of money on those skates. Don't shove them in a bag full of sweaty gear. Your skates hate that. Get the original over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. Keep your skates aired out and show them off with Bruised Skate News. Find them or us, depending on how you view this being said, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or online at bruisedsn.com. Once again, that's bruisedsn.com.
I picked mine up yesterday.
I can't skate. I might just get a Bruised Skate Noose anyway. They sound cool.
They do. I got a green sparkly one to go with my league's colors.
All right, that is Samuel L. Jackson, number 404 in the black of Ann Arbor. Jammer of record for Neo in the green and the purple. That is number 41, and that shall be Nancy Skerrigan.
And once again, some really tough defense. And yes, it's Samuel L. Jackson. One more blocker to go through, but out of play. That's right. So twin pistol, 357, the pivot for Neo being sent to that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box for an out-of-play block.
It's sort of like a resource allocation game right now for Neo as we see another Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Samuel L. Jackson. They're trying to figure out how many blockers they need to put on the opposing jammer. They need to figure out how many blockers they want to help their jammer get through, and they need to figure out how many blockers they have to bridge because those two units are always, spreading apart.
No, it's been really
like a
tough.
Classic tower defense video game.
And slowing her down so much. Wes Craven Brains really giving Samuel L. Jackson a tough time at the head of that pack, but Samuel Jackson able to bust through to get yet another 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
Samuel Jackson looks like she got some of the starch taken out of her sails in that last Rydell Skates Grand Slam. She was moving none too sprightly.
No, absolutely. She had to push really hard. And a high block is assessed to Samuel L. Jackson, being sent to the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box for that high block. So that gives Nancy Skerrigan
a Sakatumi Power Jam.
Oh, actually, no, it's not Nancy Skerrigan. She had passed the Stars over to the pivot twin pistol, but Jam had timed out.
Well, it's a Sakatumi Power Jam nonetheless. And 3 more points had been picked up for Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor now with a ghastly 127-7 lead over Neo.
And lining up behind that notorious RED jammer line, we have Fireball Phoenix for Neo facing off yet again. Well, Samuel L. Jackson sitting in the box, so Fireball Phoenix has a power play situation. Let's see if she can bust her way through to get lead jammer.
The Sakatumi Power Jam continues.
Oh, it's such a rough time. Michelle Obama, Track Magic, Jackie O'Bashes.
And Fireball Phoenix gets lead. I don't think Neo's defenders knew what to do without having to contend with an Ann Arbor jammer. They were sort of standing around looking puzzled for a while. Like, oh yeah, we can help our jammer. We don't have to worry about another jammer. However, that liberty has now been curtailed. They now do indeed have to return to concentrating on the Ann Arbor jammer, who is Samuel L. Jackson, number 404, out of the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, and right back on the track on her initial scoring pass.
She had one less blocker to pass as Bad Mooney Rising was sent to the penalty box, that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box, for a destruction of pack call.
Well, 1 point's going to be picked up by Samuel L. Jackson, but 3 picked up by Neo, so that's going to put Neo in the double digits. Huzzah.
That took a long time, 16 jams in before Neo could get those 10 points on the board, but they do. And our score is now at 128 for the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes Brawlstars to the Northeastern Ohio Rock and Roller Girls.
Good thing Neo's not scoring in binary. They only have 4. All right, returning to the notorious RED jammer line, as best I can tell, that is number 216 in the green of Neo. That is Secret Destruction. She is paired up with Terror Misu, number 811 of the black of Ann Arbor. And we see a whole manner of Neo using the fabric of their teammates' jerseys to pull themselves into position in a manner with which I am not familiar. Terror Misu's got 1 defender to hack through now. She's got 2.
The defense is doing a pretty good job of recycling up to the front of the pack, making sure that she still has yet another person to go through, but that defense having to bridge out, and unfortunately for Ohio, for Neo, Tiramisu is able to bust through to become the lead jammer for the Brawlstars.
Got a fake, is that a fake? I think that's a fake star pass. Yeah, we have a fake star pass. Number 216 still has it. That Secret Destruction looked like she was faked the star pass, still holding on to the star. That might have been a real star pass. It was in fact a real star pass. Tiramisu with a Rydell Skates Grand Slam. It is now Masher Chief.
Right. Now with the stars on her helmet, she is eligible to score. So once that pivot takes the stars, she has to have it on her helmet before points can be awarded.
Otherwise, you're not an active jammer. You're
That's
just
right.
a fake jammer. 1 more point scored by Ann Arbor.
Less than 2 minutes to go. We got a minute and a half now left in this first half on the last day of the 6th annual Midwest Brouhaha.
Neo's played a few brouhahas, I believe, dating back to 2011. I think I called the first game they ever played at a brouhaha. They played here a number of years. Ann Arbor, to my knowledge, this is the first time they have made the trip to Milwaukee.
And as the action winds down in this first half, the action on the Derby Laces track 1 has not, as that defense is really mashing around. But the first one out is Leslie Arnez for the Brawlstars.
And we have got both jammers out of the pack now. Looks like Neo will be able to truncate the scoring at a single pass, courtesy of number 41, Nancy Skerrigan. We have blockers for each team taking a seat in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Jam's going to get called off after 4 more points for Ann Arbor. I'm going to get one more jam off.
So we'll go into the final jam of this first half with the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes at 139 points to Neo's 10. And Ann Arbor starting this last jam with only 2 blockers on the track. So that's going to be a tough job for Slamlet and for Fracture Mechanics.
Well, if you're looking for sort of a feel-good moment in a game with which you are trailing by 129 points at the half, perhaps getting that last lead jammer and putting some points on the board might not be a bad way to go. Jammer of record is Bad Mooney rising for Neo in the green with the purple heads.
And Mooney had been knocked out and recycled, and wow.
That's going to be Beck's lead jammer in the black of Ann Arbor.
So a job well done by those Brawlstars blockers, able to, allow Bex to go through, pick up a 5-point, nope, I misspoke, a 4-point pass.
Another fake star pass there by Neo's end, but who's counting?
Oh man. Ann Arbor just owning this game so far.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot we need to say at this point in time. Ann Arbor has got their defenders are, Neo and Ann Arbor have similar defenses, but Ann Arbor's are just, they're holding steadier. They're not letting themselves get spun around, get their feet turned around so the jammer can sneak through. Ann Arbor's got, jammer's got a little bit more breakaway speed than Neo.
No, it's amazing to see how well Ann Arbor is able to keep those solid packs together. They're not allowing seams where Neo is allowing those little tiny seams where these very agile jammers from Ann Arbor are able to throw a shoulder in there and rip them apart and skate right through.
That's pretty much what it is.
This has been a story of lead jammers.
It's been, go figure. But it's just similar teams, but just Ann Arbor has got it, 10 to 15%, more solid than Neo, and that's all they need to just blow up in this big lead.
No, they both have effective strategies, but it's Ann Arbor who has the really effective execution.
They are executing. They're executing like some zany dictator out of a 1950s movie.
So with that, we are at the half. Neo with 10 points to 142 for the Brawlstars, and we'll be back in about 7 minutes or so.
Don't go away.
Had clockwise in 4, and a forearm in 11 for 2. 7-7-3-4 had a bat block in 9, and a multiplayer block in 13. I have a misconduct. Is that a misconduct? Yeah.
And welcome back to Derby Laces Track 1 here at the UW Panther Arena in beautiful downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Oh, come on. I love Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a great town. What more can you ask for? Great beer, great sausage, great cheese.
Sorry, I cannot. I can't call the UW Milwaukee Arena a beautiful because they are Horizon League rivals of my alma mater, the University of Wisconsin Green Bay.
Ah, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
UIC Fieldhouse, you too.
So we are getting back to the action here on Track 1, Derby Laces Track 1, as the Northeastern Ohio Roller Girls, NEO, taking on a really tough fight against the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes. So far, Rev, this has been a really tough battle for NEO.
It has been a struggle for NEO. You're hearing people screaming and yelling. It is not because they are particularly excited about this game right now. There is a game that is going on in the other track that is so exciting right now on Derby Laces Track 2 that even the skaters are going over and looking at it. It's down to a couple points. We don't quite have that manner of competitiveness right here. But we've got Ann Arbor with a healthy lead on NEO, I'll say. And we see both teams employing different strategies, but we've seen repeatedly NEO is controlling the rear of the pack. We have got Ann Arbor controlling the front of the pack as I'm trying to ignore the game going on over there. And what we're seeing happening is as those factions spread apart, we're seeing NEO having to send back a blocker to bridge, whereas Ann Arbor isn't sending a blocker to bridge because what the hell do they care about bridging?
Here we can see how at the UW Panther Arena there are two tracks only separated by a curtain, and the Texas Outlaws have just come from behind to take a win over the St. Louis Gatekeepers. So that was
we wouldn't
really
imagine you would have been
loud
watching
action.
that game over on Derby Laces Track 2. We would imagine you would have been here on Derby Laces Track 1 all the time.
That's
so
right.
This is news to you.
But it has been a fantastic event here. The 6th annual Midwest Brouhaha, hosted by the Brew City Bruisers. This has been a marvelous event. This is my first tournament announcing.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Could have fooled me.
Oh, thank you. Really appreciate that. And it's been a very educational experience and requiring so much concentration on everybody's part with these two tracks right on top of each other. But it looks like Ann Arbor has been able to take control of this matchup against NEO. They've taken advantage of executing their defensive strategies perfectly. Action just about to get back underway here at Derby Laces Track 1. And on this first jam, NEO is going to start one blocker down as their pivot is still sitting in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
And on the bright side for both teams, nobody really in any manner of penalty trouble. Only a skater with 3 penalties as far as I can tell. That's Rosa Mariposa of NEO.
No, and the top scorer of the game, I think it's no surprise, Samuel L. Jackson with 55 points for the Brawlstars.
Including one big old 25-0 jam.
That was amazing.
That was back in the first half. Here we see, well, starting off where she left off, lead jammer for Ann Arbor wearing the black. That is 11-11. That is Leslie Arnez.
She already had 46 points for Ann Arbor in that first half, and she's racking up some more now.
Pack hasn't moved much past the pivot line. Leslie Arnez out and through for another Rydell Skates power jam.
NEO not really giving her any hard time on that last pass. She was barely touched by anybody.
And then we see NEO taking control of the rear of the pack. And about. Oh, my goodness, I spoke too soon.
Oh,
that is a high block, and that is on the captain of NEO Roller Derby. That is Bad Mooney Rising, also their jammer. It is now Masaka to me power jam for Ann Arbor.
So Leslie Arnez fighting her way through that pack of NEO blockers at the front, but able to push through and pick up a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
And if you're just tuning in, Neo are from Akron, Ohio, and they look like the Riddler because they are green and purple, whereas Ann Arbor are wearing black and silver and look deadly as heck. They're from, well, imagine that, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Go figure.
Leslie Arnaz, a founding member of the Ann Arbor Roller Derby and has a degree in English.
And she also has a Rydell Skates Grand Slam, 5 more points credited to her account.
And Bad Mooney Rising made her way out of that pack, but as she approaches the back of it, Leslie Arnaz calls off the jam after picking up 3 more points for the Brawlstars.
Yeah, Ann Arbor have no shortage of, functional derby track knowledge and when to call things and when not to. They have not shown me any manner of egregious strategical errors thus far.
No, not at all. Fracture Mechanics is sitting in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Looks like our jammer's going to be Secret Destruction, wearing the green and the purple of Neo. She is wearing number 216, and it's going to be Bex number 10 in the black of
Michelle Obamia, just pushing and helping her fellow blockers out as they are doing an amazing job of containing Secret Destruction at the back of that pack.
Well, Bex flirts with a track cut actuated by the Neo defender. And she's going to have to reset. That is going to be fortunate for Neo. They are going to get out and about. They have the lead jammer. That is number 216. That is Secret Destruction. Lead jammer, Northeastern Ohio.
That is a desperately needed lead jam for Neo. As Bex makes her way around the track, she is out of the pack and eligible to score. But Secret Destruction calls off the jam before Ann Arbor can put in any points on the board. But neither does Neo.
Before she could put any points on the board.
So our score remains the same. Ann Arbor at 161 points to Neo's 10.
Yeah, we had Ann Arbor. They had all 4 of their defenders spread out, across the track in a big wall. We haven't really seen them use that formation that often, but I would imagine they can use it effectively. They seem that way.
They are definitely switching things up a little bit, seeing what they can do and practicing some different strategies here and seeing what can be executed flawlessly.
And on and
off. A big shoulder given to Bad Mooney Rising.
That is Slamuel L. Jackson. She is a lead jammer for Ann Arbor after tripping over number 76 Shockwave, sending both of them to the track to Derby Laces track 1 in a heap.
And Bad Mooney takes off the stars, makes her way through the pack, and puts the stars back on. She has made her initial pass, eligible score, but the jam is called off.
But only 2 points for Ann Arbor. We're not seeing them pile up the points in the way that they were doing in the first half thus far. So, mild victories for Neo there. 163 to 10 is our score in favor of Ann Arbor.
So pay attention, July 15th, WFTDA will be announcing the schedule for playoffs. That's right, coming up soon. Playoffs are going to be in Cleveland, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, Tucson, Arizona, and Omaha, Nebraska, and Jacksonville, Florida, Dallas, Texas, and St. Paul, Minnesota.
It's everywhere you want to be. And the jam has reared its beautiful head right now. I was going to say the jam reared its ugly head. That didn't make any sense. On and off the notorious RD Jammerland. That is Terror Misu, number 811 in the black of Ann Arbor. She is paired up with Nancy Scarrigan, number 41 of Northeastern Ohio. Looks like we have number 7734 heading to the Potawatomi Bingo and Casino penalty box for Neo. That is Wes Craven Brains, who's been doing a very staunch defensive effort thus far. Nancy Scarrigan stuck in the pack, takes the star off. Terror Misu hits the pack. Neo defenders hit her. She hits Derby Laces track 1.
Recycled all the way back to turn 1.
It looks like Vol Kilry will be taking a seat in the Potawatomi Bingo Hotel and Casino penalty box. That is going to put Neo at a significant blocker disadvantage, and that is going to allow Terror Misu to pick up a Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
That's right. Wes Craven Brains, 7734 for Neo, had been sent to the penalty box for a high block after giving Terror Misu a really hard time at the beginning of that jam.
Twin Pistol took a star pass at the very conclusion of that jam. That was enough to truncate the scoring. No points for Neo, but 4 more for Ann Arbor.
So we have an official review being called by Neo, and during this time, we would like to thank Turnaround Skates. They are your source for roller derby skates, protective gear, and apparel. They are the official skate tech of the tournament and offer wheel regrooving, bearing cleaning, and skate repairs. After you check out their merch, if you need your name and number on a shirt, they have you covered. They have reversible black and white scrimmage shirts for you to take home for only $25, which includes your name and number. And I got to tell you, that's a huge deal. I have a reversible scrimmage jersey, a black and white tank, and I use it every single week. Really useful. Fantastic stuff. You can find it at Turnaround Skates. If you're in your hotel room still working off that hangover and watching the live broadcast here, come on down. They are on the skate floor. They are at Turn 3 of Derby Laces Track 1.
Reversible is good. I only brought one sport coat this weekend, and I've just turned it inside out, so the lining is showing. So it's a thing. I also want to get somebody else's name and number on my derby shirt. That could probably do that. Gosh darn it. Sakatumi sells fun, funky socks. Socks with tacos, cupcakes, ninjas, mustaches, unicorns, and other things magical. With over 200 different sock designs, there is something for every personality, from punk rock to peacock and everything in between. That's Sakatumi.
And during this official timeout, we would also like to say, on behalf of everyone here at Midwest Brouhaha, we want to send our deepest sympathies to the Assassination City Derby. They unfortunately lost one of their skaters to complications from surgery. That's number 4, Raquel. So all of our Derby love and support is with them and the family of Raquel during this time.
Yep, well said. And if we get word on the official review, we will pass along the word. If we don't get official review words on the official review, we will not pass along anything, and you will have to guess same as us.
So that whistle signals the end of the timeout, as we now have lining up behind that notorious RED jammer line, Fireball Phoenix for Neo, facing off against Leslie Arnez for the Brawlstars.
Leslie Arnez thought she had a sliver of daylight on the outside. She didn't. She's going to try the inside, try the middle, try the outside again, and she does manage to elude that Neo catapult your teammate into the other player kind of defense. She is lead jammer.
A low block is being assessed on, I believe, Jadzia Max. That's right.
And Leslie Arnez threw that pack for another Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
She is now the leading scorer for the Brawlstars with 69 points.
What do you know about that? Looks like she's probably added to that tally, bursts through without undue effort, and that's another Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Leslie Arnez and the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes. Why are they called the Derby Dimes?
I do not know.
You didn't read the note that they gave us. It's because they practice in an old mint that made dimes.
Well, fantastic.
How about that? I too thought it was a misprint.
Learn something new every day. On that last pass before that jam called off, no points scored, but Ann Arbor has extended their lead, their significant lead. Ann Arbor Derby Dimes now at 182 points. Neo at 10, still scoreless in this second half. Neo having a really tough time in this second half. As
they had a fairly tough time in the first half.
They did. That's true.
Give credit where credit is due.
That's a good call. And once again, look at that defense, barely moving at all as the strong arms of Michelle Obama bracing up against Dr. Mainsview and Jackie O'Bashes, allowing Bex to bust her way through to become the lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
However, Bad Mooney Rising also in pursuit, so this won't be a gigantic, unadulterated scoring pass. Bex passes her teammate. She's going to get in the midst of Neo, gets her hips around backwards, calls it off. How many does she get? All 4 points? She sure the heck does.
She does. A classic. Hit it and quit it. Able to get all 4 points, calling it off before Bad Mooney Rising even gets to the back of that pack.
Yeah, like we were saying in the first half, both teams employing similar defensive strategies, but Ann Arbor just able to spin little bits of, the Neo defender around and find a hole, like not quite like a revolving door, but along those same principles.
Yeah, they are executing their defensive strategies so well here, and they're having a very successful brouhaha.
Yeah, looks that way. However, around on the outside, that is number 117 for Neo. She is your lead jammer. That is Masher Chief.
Masher Chief coming around and trying to come up to the back of that pack.
Now we have Samuel L. Jackson with the star in her hand.
So we have a little bit more of star stashing going on here.
A little role reversal going on. They are employing Neo strategies now. And we've got Neo controlling the front of the pack.
Oh, and these packs are moving so slowly around the straightaway, that back straightaway, and pushing so hard is Samuel L. Jackson. And one penalty has been assessed.
That's the
It
pivot.
is a forearm.
We got two Neo blockers taking a seat in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
So 2 points scored for Neo. Brings them up to 12. But they still have a long way to go if they want to catch up to Ann Arbor. And 20 minutes left in this second half.
I don't really think they're sitting around scheming how they can score 174 unanswered points right now. I think they might have
anything can happen.
Incremental goals at this point.
So only 2 blockers on the track right now for Neo. So it's going to be a really tough time for Morbid Cherub. And yes.
That's Tiramisu. She's lead jammer for the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes.
So the 2 blockers trying to really mess things up on that Ann Arbor line as Tiramisu comes through and is able to get through pretty quickly to pick up a 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
Tiramisu was able to sail into those 2 blockers, and the force of her trying to break through their block, well, it wasn't, oh my goodness, Tiramisu hits Derby Laces track 1 with vigor. It wasn't really enough to send her through their amassed defense, but it was able to push the defense off in a different angle that she could step around to the side.
And Secret Destruction taking a really nasty hit at the back of that pack. Slow to get up, but still gets up and pushes her way through, but unfortunately knocked again to the outside. Having to once again start all over, pushing against that really hard wall of Ann Arbor blockers.
Yeah, Tiramisu had picked up another Rydell Skates Grand Slam, gets another 4 points, calls it off. She was holding her left hip after that big hit at turn 2. When she hit the deck over at turn 3, I think she just about had enough. It's interesting to see if she continues to play or if she's going to, she seems to be saying she's all right, so all right then.
Good to see. We like to make sure that everybody stays healthy. And with that, we would like to thank our medic crew here. The medics have been doing an amazing job keeping everybody safe. Safety is the #1 priority at any roller derby bout, and especially at a tournament like Brouhaha.
That's why I wear safety glasses. It's this pencil with the lead that keeps extending.
Jamming now for the Brawlstars. Leslie Arnez, the top scorer for the Brawlstars, busts through, picks up lead jammer. Twin pistol, jammer for Neo, still stuck in that pack and recycled all the way back to the jammer line.
And Leslie Arnez coming back up on the pack. Sails into West Craven Brains. Now all Neo's got it on like they like, and they've got Leslie Arnez trapped against the outer border of Derby Laces track 1.
A track cut being assessed on Twin Pistol. That's a tough break for Neo. But Leslie Arnez now has a Socket to Me power jam for the Brawlstars as Twin Pistol makes her way around to that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
We've seen some penalties in this game, as we have, jammer penalties, but nobody's been living and dying on the power jam, and I kind of appreciate that. But that said, no one's living and dying on the Socket to Me power jam, but that is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Leslie Arnez and Ann Arbor.
Twin Pistol needs to be careful here. She already has 5 penalties for Neo and 7 and you're out. So, and she's been a very effective defensive player for Neo. So we have to make sure that she has to make sure that she plays clean. One final pass for Leslie Arnez. One final 5-point Grand Slam, Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Brings the score up to 215 for Ann Arbor.
And 12 for Neo, and that's good because that gives us a palindrome score.
See? You're
I love it when a
speaking
plan
me.
comes together, like they say on the A-Team.
OC Diva is not just a name.
It's not a job, it's an adventure. On and off the notorious RED jammer line. That is number 10. That is Bex.
Yep.
Bex is hard to identify when her ponytail is not pointing towards you because you think, oh, is that Bex? Oh yes, there's the ponytail.
Yep.
Sometimes it's front, sometimes it's back. She is lead jammer, and she is busily in the process of piercing the Neo pack. She's already made a jammer lap point out of her opposite number, which is, I believe, that Twin Pistol.
Twin Pistol
Twin
having
Pistol's
a
picked up
real
number
rough time there. She is just getting knocked around by that Ann Arbor defense anchored by Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama, Jackie O'Bashes, Dr. Mamesu, and Track Magic, all of them giving a really tough time. The stars come off.
Bex had to get recycled to the rear of the pack, but she's playing with house money now as the Neo Jammer has yet to emerge from the pack, whomever that Jammer might eventually turn out to be.
Stars are in the hand of Twin Pistol, but she is pushing her way through. She's still on her initial pass, so she's not even eligible to score, even if the stars were on her helmet. She attempts to hand the stars over to her pivot, to no avail, but is able to push through on her own.
Nice defense here from Neo. They managed to delay at least the scoring of Bex. Bex does pick up another Rydell Skates Grand Slam. I would imagine this will be the last scoring we shall see. Bex calls it off as Twin Pistol approaches the pack, flirts with points for Neo, but gets none.
So Ann Arbor climbs up to 220 points to Neo's 12. We have less than 15 minutes to go in this second half.
Rydell Skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance. That's Rydell Skates.
And Derby laces are available in 25 different colors. They tie you up but never tie you down. Get yours at derbylaces.com.
Around on the outside, flirting with that lead jammer. That is number 513. That is a Fireball Phoenix for Neo. She is getting, spun.
Still in bounds, though, and able to pick up that lead jammer.
Well, that was all effort on her part. She just took not even the path of least resistance, just kept spinning, kept inbounds. Is lead jammer and is fixing to score.
Pack picking up a little bit of speed, but then slowing down again between turns 3 and 4. Oh, and right at the end there, taking a monster shoulder, courtesy of Lucille Baller.
Ann Arbor's going to steal a point on that. Going to be 221 now.
She earned that point legally. I wouldn't say steal.
Very well then. I didn't mean to imply that there was any manner of skullduggery afoot.
Just giving you a hard time.
Well, I don't blame you. Somebody's got to keep me in line. Looks like number 811 is going to be on the notorious RED Jammer line. That's Terror Misu for Ann Arbor. And she is paired up with, is that number 117? That sure the heck is number 117. Yep. That's Masher Chief for Neo. Neo in the green with the purple heads. Ann Arbor in the black.
That Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box is empty right now. So we have 4 blockers for each team and 1 jammer for each team.
Terror Misu takes a weird angle, slides to the very periphery, then slides back in, gets a Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
Meanwhile, Masher Chief having a tough time, and she's being recycled back by that really tough Ann Arbor defense, who has been executing beautifully. One of the defenders comes up and plays a little offense to help out Terror Misu. Beautifully done. Well, she gets assessed a penalty for her efforts in the form of a clockwise block, so she's going to spend 30 seconds in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. Meanwhile, Masher Chief took off the stars for a star stash, put it back on her helmet after she came through, but is unable to score any points. A 5-point Grand Slam. That would be a Rydell Skates Grand Slam at the end there for Ann Arbor. Brings their score now up to 231 to Neo's 12.
Ann Arbor doing a nice job of just keeping the pivot out of reach of Masher Chief. I don't think there's that much misdirection when you're completely isolated and have no way to legally transfer the star to your pivot.
That's right. You got to be upright and on the track. Can't be out of bounds. Action back underway here at Derby Laces Track 1 as Leslie Arnez for the Brawlstars makes her way through to become lead jammer. Meanwhile, Bad Mooney Rising had been recycled all the way back to the jammer line, but then able to slip on by on that outside line at turn 1 to come out of the pack.
Fracture Mechanics taking a seat in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Leslie Arnez pushing hard, only able to pick up 2 points before she is forced to call off the jam before Bad Mooney Rising is able to score anything. Your score now, Ann Arbor, 233 points. Coming up against Neo's 12.
Starting close and clean on the Notorious RED Jammer Wine. Notorious by Notorious RED. Smell clean even if you play dirty. Get it here at Brouhaha at the Derby for All booth or order online at notoriousred.com.
Back to the action. Fireball Phoenix, the jammer for Neo this time, facing off against Vex for the Brawlstars.
Vex takes a nice hit from number 96 finisher.
Oh
Neo.
my. And Fireball Phoenix able to push through and skate around on that outside line to become the lead jammer for Neo.
I think Fireball Phoenix has gotten lead jammer the last 2 times she has stepped to the Notorious RED
And
jammer line.
barely touched. Oh my. Fireball Phoenix picking up 4 points for Neo rather quickly and then calling off the jam, blanking out. No,
Yep.
Looks like Ann Arbor was able to pick up 1 point there at the end of that jam.
So Neo up to 16. That is, of course, 2 to the 4th power.
And my OC Diva here loves this 2, 3, 4 for Ann Arbor Derby Dimes.
They should score 1,000 more points. It would be a Ramones reference.
Oh, fantastic. Lining up now behind that Notorious RED jammer line, we have Bad Mooney Rising facing off against Slamuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson bespectacled on a Derby Races Track 1. I respect that. But lead jammer, second jam in a row. It goes to Neo. This time it is courtesy of Bad Mooney Rising, number R6.
And one of the Neo blockers being sent to the penalty box, that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. It looks like number 41, Nancy Scarrigan, for a back block.
And Slamuel L. Jackson now out of the pack on her initial scoring pass.
2 more points for Neo, bringing their score up to 18.
Which might be an Alice Cooper reference, which would play right into the hands of Ann Arbor residents, the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes.
So I'm not sure, but if I had to guess, I think that's the only time this half that they've scored 2 jams in a row.
I believe you very well might be correct.
So a tough day for Neo, but they're still fighting.
Well, they're on a roll. I mean, you know. They
Ann
have scored the
Arbor?
last 2 jams in a row.
Ann Arbor trying to perhaps stop that momentum, taking a timeout here with a little more than 9 minutes to go in this second half. Rev, I got to tell you, Ann Arbor really good at executing these strategic plays. I've been impressed with them all game long.
I really can't find any flaws in what they're doing. I mean,
No, they go out there with a plan, able to execute it. Their braced blocking has been fantastic. It seems like they're taking 3 of their blockers and focusing them on the opposing jammer, while the other blocker, that 4th, is able to switch back and forth between playing defense and sometimes playing offense to help out their own jammer. Seeing a really solid strategy, well executed.
and that's why the score is what it is.
Yep, absolutely. So Ann Arbor just owning this game. But you have to give it up to Neo, not giving up, really trying hard, and getting lead jammer these past couple times. So still minor victories for Neo in this second half. Nancy Scarrigan still in the box for Neo at the beginning of this next jam, as Fireball Phoenix is sent to the penalty box.
Or
She was going to go all the way around, but she was before that. Oh no, she was recycled. Excuse me. I misspoke.
well,
And illegal re-entry. Not entirely sure what happened here, but she is going to spend 30 seconds in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
it's going to be a Sakatumi Power Jam. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Terror Misu, number 811 of Ann Arbor. And Terror Misu left to contend with the entirety of the Neo blocking core by herself. We've got
Let's see.
Reigns bridging to keep the pack intact. Unclear why Ann Arbor just wouldn't go there and start pushing the Neo defenders out of the way, but either way, that is a Rydell Skates Grand Slam.
It is a strategy that you can send, as they did right there, Michelle Obama, to maybe play a little bit of offense, but they had to quickly turn their attention back to Fireball Phoenix as she was released from that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Fireball Phoenix got a little bit of energy at this late stage in the game. She is moving like she is unslowed by fatigue or lack of vigor.
And she's able to stay on those toe stops. but not able to pick up any points. And one more 5-point Rydell Grand Slam given to Ann Arbor.
And when injury strikes, you have a choice. Choose ATI Physical Therapy, the official sports medicine provider for your Brew City Bruisers. To experience the ATI difference, visit ATIPT.com or stop into one of their over 19 Milwaukee area clinics for a complimentary injury screening. Ask your doctor about the company that is taking physical therapy to a higher level. ATI Physical Therapy, get there.
Back to the action at Derby Laces Track 1. Leslie Arnez for the Brawlstars, pushing her way through that line of Neo blockers to become the lead jammer. And I believe jamming for the first time is Morbid Cherub for Neo. I think that's the first time the stars are on her helmet, but she took them off, handed them to her pivot, Bad Mooney Rising, who is now the active jammer for Neo. Leslie Arnez goes through, gets 4 points for the Ann Arbor Derby Dimes, and calls off the jam. She is now sitting with 95 points for Ann Arbor.
That is a fairly good day at the office.
Absolutely. She's doing a bang-up job today.
We're not seeing Ann Arbor go away from their traditional jammer rotation very much. They're not sending in the...
No, it seems like they're just sticking with their traditional jammers. A lot of teams sometimes when they go up by this wide of a margin will throw in some other jammers, either to give their regular rotation a break or give some jammer experience to some of the other people on the roster. It doesn't seem to be the case this time with Ann Arbor.
Well, that is Bex, and she is breaking through. She is your lead jammer for Ann Arbor. That's number 713. That is Val Killery. She is the jammer of record for Neo. Takes a step on the inside. Gets right around the teeth of the Ann Arbor defense. Stepping nicely, 4 more points for Ann Arbor. However, I think they're going to wait until the last second drains off the clock before calling it. Not a bad idea. Clock management is a nice thing.
Absolutely. Good, really smart jamming on Bex's part to take a look at that clock and try to waste as much time and eat away at those seconds. We still have a little over 5 minutes left to go in this game. Samuel L. Jackson, after taking a little bit of a break, back behind that notorious RED jammer line for the Brawlstars, and she is facing off against Fireball Phoenix for Neo.
Still only one player in real penalty trouble, and that is Twin Pistol with 5.
So a relatively clean game here. Most of our players sitting with only 1 or 2, a few with 3.
And Morbid Cherub teeing off on Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson slips through the 2 remaining Neo defenders, picks up the lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
Neo blockers in that little scrum of Ann Arbor trying to help their jammer out. Unfortunately, she gets knocked over to the inside field and recycled back, taking big shoulder hits, huge shoulder hits off of Jackie O'Bashes.
And that is going to be from a seated position. That is still going to be a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Samuel L. Jackson. Looks to her bench for orders, accepts the orders as they come.
Rosa Mariposa taking a seat in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box. It looks like a destruction of pack call.
And no further points scored after that jam call off, so it's going to be 262 for Ann Arbor. Less than that for Neo.
And Neo's going to start with 1 blocker down in this next jam, as Rosa Mariposa is still sitting in that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
Neo did make it to the Division II tournament in Kalamazoo in 2013. They placed 4th.
It's a good showing. Ann Arbor, though, having a really good brouhaha as they came off of pretty good wins against Grand Raggedy and North Star so far.
Well, you play 3 games in 3 days and you get 3 victories.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you can't do better than that now. Now can't you? All right, lead jammer does in fact go to number 811. That is Terror Misu of Ann Arbor.
Stars come off of the helmet.
The pivot comes off of Derby Laces Track 1. Takes a seat in the Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box for Neo. And that's a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Terror Misu.
And it's now going to be a Sakatumi power jam for Terror Misu as Bad Mooney Rising sits on down. Oh my.
Misu, one skate like some manner of, I don't know what the heck she was some manner of, but by golly, she was some manner of something. Now she's grabbing the other hip. Her hips are taking quite the bashing. That's going to be a Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Tiramisu, one way or the other.
Defense stands still and waits as the jammer comes up. But she's recycled back in. Jam comes to an end.
Tiramisu, so she took big impacts on each side of her,
Derriere.
whatever you call that.
Or derriere.
Now she may be standing and dancing with great enhanced vigor at the after party tonight. Or sitting may not be an option for her.
It's kind of nice on this third day. This is when the big party happens because everybody's done skating, everybody's done working. So we'll see what happens at the after party tonight.
That's why it kind of sucks if you live within driving distance, because then you just drive back.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
I got to work tomorrow, don't we all? All right, lead jammer is going to be Leslie Arnaz, number wearing the bars, 1111, the double 11s for Ann Arbor.
She is on a Sakatumi Power Jam as Bad Mooney Rising. Oh, no longer. Bad Mooney Rising was released from that Potawatomi Hotel and Casino penalty box.
And then it was socked to her. She's attempting a star pass, fake star pass for... Big star pass is Leslie Arnaz recircles to the rear.
But now an actual star pass happens as Bad
Twin
Mooney
Pistols
Rising.
got it, I believe.
Yep, she does indeed.
Unfortunately, she's also at the rear of the pack. She's also the rearmost Neo skater. Another Rydell Skates Grand Slam for Leslie Arnaz and Ann Arbor.
That puts Leslie Arnaz up over the century mark. She now has 105 points for the Brawlstars. Just a powerful jammer. Pushing really hard up against that wall of Neo blockers, but able to find those seams, push her way through, and pick up yet another 5-point Rydell Skates Grand Slam. Meanwhile, Twin Pistol finally putting the stars on her helmet to become the active jammer for Neo.
Got a 2 seconds difference between the jam clock and the period clock here, so 4 more points for Leslie Arnaz. Looks back for official word from her teammate on what she should do. Timeout's going to be called for Neo. They want to get one more jam in here.
Yep.
Well, I don't see why not.
Hey, go down swinging.
I mean, usually, as I understand it, ratings are generally calculated, and I am not, privy to proprietary algorithms of any sort, but it's usually like the multiples of how many times you've outscored your opponent. So any point Neo scores here is multiplied by about a zillion, considering the point difference right now between Ann Arbor and Neo. So I think it scored 2 points here. That actually kind of...
They did.
Oh, they did? Well, how about that then?
Yeah.
Seek and ye shall receive.
Absolutely. So with a little bit of a score correction going on here, it appears that Neo now has 20 points on the board.
All right, they have thus far matched their total from the first half and the second half, looking to surpass it in this final jam.
Let's see what they can do. Ann Arbor will obviously win this matchup with 291 points going into what is more than likely going to be the last jam of the bout. We can't say for sure. Anything could happen.
Did we tell you that the Field 59 video platform powered the live streaming technology behind the 2014 Roller Derby World Cup in Dallas and now powers the live stream for the 2015 Midwest Brouhaha? Power Jam your Derby votes with Field 59's video solutions. That's Field 59.
So both jammers fighting hard in what can only be described as a chaotic scrum of blockers, finally separating out into 2 separate walls. But it is...
That's Bex out there.
Yep. Bex picking up that lead jammer for Ann Arbor.
I would like to think she might keep her eye on the game clock, realize it's expired, perhaps call it off, but it looks like she is, well, perhaps she wants to get another Rydell Skates Grand Slam, and indeed she does. Calls it off. They are not going to make it to the tricentennial mark, but it's going to be close enough for rock and roll.
Very close. 296 points is the unofficial final for Ann Arbor over Neo's 20 points. These skaters are waiting for the official word.
I think a victory lap might be able to be, arranged in short order.
Absolutely. I think there will. Ann Arbor, they came out with a strategy, executed it beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, big weekend for Ann Arbor. What can you say? At some point in time, you have to take your hat or your protective headgear or your wig off to them. They played their game. They've got good talent on each side of the ball, as it were. Obviously a team to watch around here.
Absolutely. Neo, it appeared as if they had the same type of strategy as Ann Arbor, and were just unable to execute it as cleanly as Ann Arbor. However, I really have to give it up to them for playing with as much heart, never giving up. They were still able to grab that lead jammer status a few times in the waning minutes of this game, showing that they had real heart, real drive, really trying to put their best foot forward. But Neo, unfortunately, goes home after this 6th annual Midwest Brouhaha 0-3.
Well,
yeah,
that's the way the mop flops sometimes.
Yep.
What the heck?
But on the other side, Ann Arbor, Derby Dimes, Brawlstars going home 3-0.
Well, for as much score discrepancy as there was, score difference, this was pretty. I thought this was an entertaining game. It was fun to watch.
Absolutely,
I wasn't sitting on the edge of my seat, but I had a lot of fun watching it. I thought Neo and Ann Arbor gave us both, entertaining 60 minutes out of my life that I don't need to get back.
No, absolutely not. This was fantastic. It was great to see such well executed defense, and it was great to see a lot of powerful, never given up, stick-to-itiveness in the jamming on both sides.
All right. So, concluding remarks, please, Senator.
This has been a great bout, and I thank everybody here for watching it. Once again, I want to give one more shout out to Hinckley Productions for their amazing production of this brouhaha, and support your roller derby live streaming. Pick up a DVD by visiting hinkleyproductions.com/brouhaha. I am OC Diva.
I appear to be Reverend Norb. Hashtag Brouhaha 2015 if you got the urge. Thanks a lot. Stick around. There's plenty of derby yet to come.
Oh, yeah, there is.
We'll be back with more stuff.
Thanks.
Hi everybody, this is Zach here from Rydell Skates, and we're here to talk to you today about an exciting new product we have. This is our Fit footbed kit. It's designed to help alleviate pain and reduce some soreness that people commonly get while skating. First, let's talk about the Fit footbed itself. It's a high-density foam with a soft-top cover on it. It allows for a lot more cushion and support for a safer and more effective skating session. On the back side, there's Velcro components that allow you to attach adjustable arch supports and heel wedges to it, which is really where all the customization comes in. Installed in the footbed is a blue arch support, which is neutral. There's also a red arch support, which is for high arches, and an orange arch support, which is for low arches. Installation and swapping them out is really simple. All you need to do is just peel the Velcro off and then install the new insert. The heel is another area of customization. You can use the included purple heel lift to elevate the heel on the boot, which can reduce heel slippage, irritation, or shin splints. Or you can use the included green heel wedge. It's angled, so depending on the way you install it, it can help correct pronation or supination issues. This metatarsal pad can be installed on the top side of the footbed to help reduce numbness in the toe and ball area of the foot. Getting the proper fit is really simple. What you'll need to do is take your existing insole out of your skates. Then all you need to do is line the two up on top of each other and trace and trim to fit. The R-Fit footbed kit is available now at any of our authorized retailers. And for more information, you can always visit our website at www.roller.rydellskates.com.
Come celebrate summer with the Dairyland Dolls, Saturday, June 20th and Saturday, July 11th at the Hartmeyer Ice Arena. Doors at 5, action at 6. But wait, there's more. The Dairyland Dolls will be shaking things up with a special outdoor exhibition bout on Saturday, June 27th during the Festival Food Shake the Lake celebration at the Monona Terrace. Event opens at 5, Derby at 6. Come for Derby, stay for fireworks. Find the Derby in you. MadRollandDolls.com.
Turnaround Skates is proud to support the 2015 Midwest Brouhaha. We are a Derby-owned roller skate shop in Buffalo, New York. Our focus is providing our customers with innovative and quality skates, parts, and protective gear from all the top manufacturers. Our customers represent a variety of skating styles and backgrounds. Our boutique shopping experience focuses on finding the right skates and gear for you. We also add a bit of style with our fun accessories and clothing. Visit us in Buffalo or online at turnaroundskates.com.
Hi everybody, this is Zach here from Rydell Skates, and we're here to talk to you today about an exciting new product we have. This is our R-Fit footbed kit. It's designed to help alleviate pain and reduce some soreness that people commonly get while skating. First, let's talk about the R-Fit footbed itself. It's a high-density foam with a soft top cover on it. It allows for a lot more cushion and support for a safer and more effective skating session. On the back side, there's Velcro components that allow you to attach adjustable arch supports and heel wedges to it, which is really where all the customization comes in. Installed in the footbed is a blue arch support, which is neutral, There's also a red arch support, which is for high arches, and an orange arch support, which is for low arches. Installation and swapping them out is really simple. All you need to do is just peel the Velcro off and then install the new insert. The heel is another area of customization. You can use the included purple heel lift to elevate the heel in the boot, which can reduce heel slippage, irritation, or shin splints. Or you can use the included green heel wedge. It's angled, so depending on the way you install it, it can help correct pronation or supination issues. This metatarsal pad can be installed on the top side of the footbed to help reduce numbness in the toe and ball area of the foot. Getting the proper fit is really simple. What you'll need to do is take your existing insole out of your skates. Then all you need to do is line the two up on top of each other and trace and trim to fit. The R-Fit footbed kit is available now at any of our authorized retailers. And for more information, you can always visit our website at www.roller.rydellskates.com.
Help celebrate summer with the Dairyland Dolls, Saturday, June 20th and Saturday, July 11th at the Hartmeyer Ice Arena. Doors at 5, action at 6. But wait, there's more. The Dairyland Dolls will be shaking things up with a special outdoor exhibition bout on Saturday, June 27th during the Festival Food Shake the Lake celebration at the Monona Terrace. Event opens at 5, derby at 6. Come for derby, stay for fireworks. Find the derby in you. MadRollandDolls.com.
Turnaround Skates is proud to support the 2015 Midwest Brouhaha. We are a Derby-owned roller skate shop in Buffalo, New York. Our focus is providing our customers with innovative and quality skates, parts, and protective gear from all the top manufacturers. Our customers represent a variety of skating styles and backgrounds. Our boutique shopping experience focuses on finding the right skates and gear for you. We also add a bit of style with our fun accessories and clothing. Visit us in Buffalo or online at turnaroundskates.com.
Hi everybody, this is Zach here from Rydell Skates, and we're here to talk to you